Hello students, welcome to our online teaching classes of DPS Bangali. Today I have once again come with a very interesting poem of your English textbook, Honeydew, class 8. The name of the poem is The Ant and the Cricket, adapted from Aesop's Fables. So here the characters are the ant and the cricket. So the name of the chapter is The Ant and the Cricket, adapted from Aesop's Fables. So what is fables? So fables is a story in which animals are the main characters and it gives a moral. This is known as fables. Aesop's Fables, the fables collected by Aesop's. Who was Aesop's? Aesop's was a Greek storyteller and a fabulist. And the entire collections, his entire collections is popularly known as Aesop's Fables. Now this particular poem, The Ant and the Cricket, is one of his fables. In this fable has been turned into a poem. We will read this in the form of a poem, and in this particular poem, we can find the characters, two main characters, the animal characters, as it is a fable, the ant and the cricket. The ant and the cricket, the two main important characters we will read about them. Okay. Here also we will get two important poetic devices, that is figures of speech. Poetic devices and figures of speech. One is personifications and another is metaphor. What is personification? Generally different figures of speech are used, or different poetic devices are used in poems. So what is personification? Personification means when human characteristics are given to animals or non-living objects. It is known as personification. Here, the ants and the cricket, these are not human beings, but they are treated as the human beings here. So this has been used as personification. Another significant poetic device is metaphor. Metaphor here, it is comparison between two similar things. How many similar things? Here, the ant is an animal, the cricket is also an animal. So here you can get both, as there is a comparison between two insects, it is a metaphor also. Okay. So here in this chapter, so the main characters in the ant and the cricket, the poet has shown as the two main characters are there in this poem, the ant and the cricket. The poet or the fabulist has shown two contrasting attitudes of both. Contrasting attitudes, whereas the ant is very meticulous in nature, very hard working, and it has deep foresight. On the other hand, the cricket is very lazy, lack of foresight, and he was a happy-go-lucky one. That means he was spending his present time without thinking about the future. So he was known as a happy-go-lucky one. lucky one. On the other difference. So in this contrasting attitude, we will here, but in this present poem, we will come to know one thing. If we want to live a happy, prosperous, everyone wants to lead a happy and peaceful life. Yes or no? So, we will get a lesson from here. So, if we want to lead a happy, prosperous, and peaceful life, we must be foresighted in our nature. We must be hardworking in nature, and we must be meticulous at the center. So with this interesting fact, let us begin this poem, The Ant and the Cricket. So at first, let me read out the poem before you. A silly young cricket accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. Not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground, not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me, at last by starvation and famine made bold, all the dripping with wet and all trembling with cold. Away he set up to a miserly ant, to see it, to keep him alive, he would grant him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. He wished only to borrow, he would repay it tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. Said the ant to the cricket, I am your servant and friend, but we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by when the weather was warm? Quoth the cricket, not. My heart was so light that I sang day and night, for all nature looked gay. You sang, sir, you say. Go then, says the ant, and danced the winter away. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Fox call this a fable, I will warrant it true. Some crickets have 4 legs and some have 2. Thereafter, let me explain you parawise. So let's go thoroughly from first to last. A silly young cricket accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months and of gay summer and spring began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. Here, difficult meaning. First, underline it, accustomed. Accustomed means he was in habit of, accustomed to sing. That means he was in the habit of singing. Accustomed. Where you can get the meaning, difficult meaning also, some difficult meaning in the glossary. Those which are not available, I am telling you, you gently note down it. A silly young cricket accustomed to sing, accustomed, that means in the habit of used to sing or in the habit of singing. K means happy. Cupboard here, cupboard means storehouse. Here, cupboard means storehouse. Okay, was empty and winter was come. That means in the first stanza of the very first stanza of the poem, it has been described that once upon a time there was a young foolish cricket. Cricket is the name of an insect. he was in the habit of singing. But he was spending his time singing or in singing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring. As throughout the time or throughout the he spent throughout the spring season and summer season was pleasant enough. So the foolish young cricket spent his time about singing merrily without thinking about the future, without any beat of thinking about the future. So in this way, began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty. Began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. After summer and spring was over, thereafter the winter has come. And when the winter has come, it was not so pleasant like it was not the period of so pleasant. It was not so pleasant period like the spring or the summer season. And at that time he saw that his cupboard, his storehouse was empty. Then he began to complain. Then he began to think about it. Not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground. Not a crumb means broken crumb. Broken or a piece of wood. So when the winter came, at that time he saw that there was nothing in his cupboard, there was nothing in his storehouse. Even he did not find a single bead of broken food in his cupboard. On the snow-covered ground, and as it was in winter, the ground was covered with snow. Not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. And he could not see any leaf or flower on the tree. That means the trees were leafless and fruitless or flowerless at that time. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me in such a crucial situation, in such a very hard time. The foolish young cricket thought and he wondered aloud what would become of himself at that time. At last by starvation and famine made gold, all the dripping with wet and all the trembling with cold. Away he set up to a miserly aunt to see if to keep him alive he would grant. I am telling you some typical meaning. At last by starvation. Starvation means hunger. Starvation means hunger. Famine, you know, shortage of food. Dripping with wet. Dripping matlab flowing down. Dripping, flowing down. Dripping with wet and all trembling with cold. Trembling, shivering. Trembling means shivering. Away he set up of start journey a miserly arm. Difficult meaning clear? Thereafter come to the explanation. Oh, what will become, says the cricket of me. So in such a crucial period, in such a hard time, the foolish young cricket wondered aloud what would become of himself. At last by starvation and famine, in such a situation he had to go without any food and he faced acute food shortages. So when he did not, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold, and at that time everywhere it was wet with flowing water and all trembling with cold, as it was winter. So there was everybody were feeling extreme cold. So he was also, without getting food and shelter, he was just trembling with extreme cold. Away he set off to a miserly aunt. At last he decided and started his journey. And that means he went to a miserly aunt. Miserly aunt, the aunt is a very meticulous insect From the very beginning, I have told you. So to see it, to keep him alive, he would grant. And she set out to a miserly aunt to see him, to keep him alive, he would grant. Grant means here keep. Grant means here keep. At last he went to the aunt and requested him. What? Requested him to give him shelter from rain, and a mouthful of grain. He wished only to borrow. He would repay it tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. Sorrow means grief. Sorrow means grief. You know it. So finding no way out. And so when he did not get any single bit of foodstuff or rest or shelter, he decided and went to the aunt. And when he reached there, he requested the aunt to give him, to provide him to give him some shelter in order to rescue him, in order to save him from the rain, and a mouthful of grain. He also requested him to give him some food grains so that he can eat and relieve his hunger. He wished only to borrow. He would repay it tomorrow. And he requested all these things. He requested some shelter. He requested a bit shelter and some food to give him. And he also promised him. The cricket also promised before the aunt that he would repay all these things the next day and some other day. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. And if the aunt does not agree, if the aunt rejects his request, then he is sure to die of starvation and he would move into sorrow. Said the aunt to the cricket, I am your servant and friend, but we aunts never borrow, we aunts never lend. After listening such type of words, such type of suggestions, such type of request from the cricket, the aunt told the cricket there, they are aunts, and by principle, they never give or they never take. They never give or take. That means they neither borrow nor lend someone. This is their principle. This reply depressed the cricket very much. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by? Lay by. Here lay by means lay by means to set something for you. To set. So lay by. Here, but tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by? When the weather was warm, quoth the cricket. Quoth means said. But then he told him, the aunt told the cricket there, by principles, they are the ones, they are the servants. I am your servants and friends. He admitted. The aunt admitted that he is his servant and friends also. But by principle, they never give or take from someone. They never borrow or lend. Opposite words, borrow and lend. But he also wants to know from the cricket there, when the weather was fine, whether he had saved for future, whether he had saved something for future use or not. In reply, the cricket said that he had not saved anything. Okay, my heart was so light. Why he had not saved anything? That is it. My heart was so light that I sang day and night. For all nature looked gay. You sang, sir. You say. My heart was so light. Light means you are happy. Light means you are happy. When the weather was so fine, when the weather was very pleasant, his heart was very happy. And out of great excitement, out of great happiness, he spent the summer and spring about singing merrily and had not saved anything for future. Okay? And he spent his time, day and night, only by singing. For all nature looked gay, because at that time the nature looked very graceful, it was very fine, very pleasant. So out of that excitement, the cricket spent his time without any thinking about the future, just singing about merrily. You son, sir, you say, go then say to the aunt and dance the winter. After listening such type of remarks from the cricket, the aunt told the cricket that as he had spent his time the spring and summer by dancing, now it is the time he should spend it. No, as he had spent that spring and summer by singing about merrily, so now it is the time which has come, he should spend it about dancing merrily. Okay, so thus ending, listening there, telling this much, thus ending, he hastily matlab quickly, thus ending, he hastily lifted the wickets. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. And by this, suddenly the cricket lifted its wings. Wickets, matlab wings. Yeah, wickets means wings. Just thereafter, the cricket suddenly lifted its wings and went away from the end, out of the door, turned to the poor little cricket, and suddenly he turned out, moved away from the left the place of the arms. Suddenly. Hawks call this a fable. I will warrant it true. Some crickets have 4 legs and some have 2. Hawks means people. Hawks means people. So people call it as a fable. I will warrant it true. I will promise it is true. Some crickets have 4 legs and some have 2. The last line of the poem, that is very impressive and very interesting. The last line of the poem, that is very interesting and very impressive, and it has some thought-provoking meaning. What is that? Some crickets have 4 legs and some crickets have 2 legs. That means some crickets have 4 legs. Though there are some crickets which have 4 legs, they are obviously crickets. There are some crickets which have 4 legs. They are surely cricket, the insects. And there are some crickets which have 2 legs, have been compared to human beings. Okay? There are some crickets which have 4 legs. They are obviously cricket. But there are some crickets which have 2 legs, have been compared to human beings. So we know that some human beings are up like crickets and some human beings are like ant. Okay, some human beings are there, those who are very lazy, they spend their life without thinking about the future. They are lack of foresight, but there are some human beings who are very meticulous in nature, very hardworking in nature, very careful, and they are very foresighted also. And so they lead a very comfortable life. So here, after reading this, we will get a moral here. So what is moral? Hardworking and foresight. Bring us peace, happiness, and prosperity. So if we are hardworking and if we have foresight, we must enjoy peaceful, happy, and prosperous life. And on the other thing, laziness and lack of foresight brings sorrows and suffering. And if we don't have foresight and if we are lazy one, so we must face different problems and hardships in our line. This is all about your poem. Again, I will come to you. So you will collect the meanings from the glossary also, and you will prepare. Next, we will make the camels as a horse. Thank you.